So let me get this straight. You dropped $900K on a pretzel stand at the mall, which is dated, and after taxes, fees, payroll, all these other things, you bringing home less than somebody working the cash register at Chick-fil-A? If you're being nosy and you're trying to see which brands are failing in 2025, or you're trying to actually buy a franchise and you do not want to get caught up in the I'll buy a brand just because it's popping, I'm going to break it down dollar by dollar, brand by brand, no fluff, no bull. So let's get this straight. Do not buy a brand just because it's popular in the 90s and the early 2000s. If anything, you're buying clout, you're not buying cash flow. First up, Auntie Anne's, however you want to pronounce it. You're walking in the mall, you smell the cinnamon sugar, and you go buy your pretzels, and you start thinking to yourself, this has to be printing money. But let's actually dive in and break this down. Startup cost is usually around 300 to 500K, which is on the lighter end, but they're mostly in malls. And if you know about malls, then there's a few things you got to keep in mind. It's really, really high rent. Malls are really dated. Who really goes to the mall these days? You got really high rent with super low foot traffic. You're definitely going to have to pair with Great American Cookie or another brand just to survive. Now you add in the 7% royalty fees, you add in the ad fees, you add in all of the other expenses, and stuff starts to get really deep really quick. You got certain days where you might only hit about $1,200 in sales with pretzels. It's very possible in the mall in 2025. You break all of that down after you pay everybody off, and you might get a whopping $80 in profit. I mean, $80 is almost like couch cushion. You find it under their money. You are making pretzels, not profit at this point. And if you think about a hot, sunny summer day, do you want something cold or do you want some hot pretzels? Now let's slide right next door to Great American Cookie. The name, dope. The smell, amazing. The taste, great. But those profit margins, it's mid at best. Startup cost is usually around 250 to 400K, but once again, you're most likely going to be in the mall. You're not making the money you should be making. Peak hours is usually lunch and weekends, and peak months is usually only holidays. You're literally baking cookies for 10 hours a day, paying teenagers minimum wage, and you're still trying to figure out why you're only pulling in about $3,500 a month in revenue. You really got folks in 400K plus debt. You out here trying to push a cookie dream thinking this is entrepreneurship when really this is a dessert disaster. If it is not bundled with Auntie Anne's, whatever you want to pronounce it like, I wouldn't do it. Next up, Papa John's. Now look, pizza is always going to be around, but Papa John's is almost like the MySpace of pizza at this point. Startup cost is usually around 250 to 500K. Franchise fee is going to be about 25K. Royalties is going to be about 8%. Ad marketing is going to be about 5%. And check this out. The average income after everything is paid off for a Papa John's owner is 50 to 60K. Now this isn't everybody because there are some owners that are making bank, but average income 50 to 60K. That's crazy. So you mean to tell me I gotta work 60 plus hours a week? I have to manage about 8 to 10 teenagers that are gonna always show up late, or they're just not gonna show up at all because we all know how these new kids are. On top of that, deal with all the customer BS only to pull up about $4,000 a month in revenue? If I was you, I would much rather just DoorDash and make some other side money because this might not be what's for you. And on top of that, you're gonna have to compete with Domino's, Marco's, Pizza Hut, and so many other pizza places that are on DoorDash charging extremely amounts of money for mid pizza. Now let's scoot over to Subway, aka the franchise that everybody seems to want to get into, but they're not reading the fine print. Have y'all seen all the horror stories about ownership with Subway? You might want to look it up. Startup cost is usually around $200K to $450K. It's gonna cost about $15,000 for your franchise fee. Royalties is 8%. Ad fees is 4.5%. If you think about it, you're about 12.5% in the hole before you sell any sub sandwiches. Subway used to be the plug, but now it's a bad image, bad marketing, super low sales, and on top of that, the average owner is usually only making about 30 to 50K, and that's if your Subway is actually good. We're not even on the bad Subways, and there are tons of them because it's an oversaturated market. Think about it. You ended up dropping $500,000 in debt just to be making turkey sandwiches full time when you could have made that as a cashier at Target. And let's not forget about the horror stories. There are franchisees that would sell their location for $1 just to get out because it was that much of a headache. Don't believe me? Google it. Look, to all the 5 people that's going to watch this video, we got to be smart about this. Those franchises, they look and sound amazing, and they were once very successful. But a lot of times in today's society, you're getting caught into a trap with low profit margins, and you're going to be working your... Meanwhile, you can go work over at Chick-fil-A, your normal desk job or wherever, and be making really great money. Think about it. For Chick-fil-A, if you become a little bit of middle tier management, you'll be making really good money. You got to think, you got no debt, no 16-hour days, and you get off Sundays. And if you really got that dog in you, then you can become an owner. Now, don't get it twisted. I made a video about this before. It's not easy, and you're gonna have to put in a lot of work, but one of y'all might have what it takes. Now, those owners at Chick-fil-A, they really winning. They really got the bag. You might want to ask about them. So this is the move. Don't just chase the brand. Actually chase the numbers and do your research. These are the questions you want to be asking yourself. How many sales per day do I need to make before I can pay myself? What is the rent to revenue ratio? Can I hire somebody else to help me out, or am I going to be making cookies in the back all week long? Instead of dropping $500K or more on a brand, you could be doing other things. Like if you really just want to do the whole food concept, just start your own business for about $100K or less. Partner with somebody that has a food truck. Partner with somebody that is really good in operations to where you can invest that money and you can just fall back. Or for whatever reason, people don't take note of this, buy into a franchise that's so low key and under the radar, but is making great profit margins. There's a lot of them out there. Bottom line, don't buy into the hype. Don't buy into a franchise because of the logo and the success that they had in the 90s. At the end of the day, you're going to be investing a lot of time, effort, money in the whole nine. So you got to be on point. A lot of people out here be chasing franchise lifestyle on Instagram, but in real life, they living like a whole team member. So before you sign that franchise deal on the dotted line, ask yourself, would I be more beneficial working at Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, Cava, In-N-Out, all these other places where I can actually just stack my money and live stress-free? If that's the answer, do not sign that franchise agreement.